company. We have big news. We've moved to North Minneapolis.
Why did you move?
As a Black business owner, I wanted to be part of the North Minneapolis community to provide jobs.
Are there other reasons you moved there?
We have bigger new equipment and outgrew the other location.
What kind of new equipment do you have?
We have new equipment that allows us to print quality signage and banners. We also have a new inkjet printer, printing larger sheets, improving production efficiencies.
Is the new location easy to find?
It's not only easy to find, it's more convenient with plenty of parking. We are now located on Washington Avenue North off I-94 and the Dowling exit.
So do you still print everything?
We print more than everything. We have over 175 Google reviews with a 5-star rating. Call 612-870-0777 or visit mpuptown.com. That's mpuptown.com. We print everything.
Hey, Cudahy to all my friends and relatives in 4 directions. This is Robert Pilot of Native Roots Radio presents I'm Awake. I'm here to ask you for your support. Finding honest Native-centered news is not easy. But with your support, we're able to provide accurate information about Standing Rock, Line 3, treaty violations, and COVID-19 in our Native communities. Please visit Native Roots Radio Network on Patreon and donate if you can. That's Native Roots Radio Network on Patreon. Pinigigi, and thank you for your support.
Hey, it's Patrick for Zero Res. Is your home ready for the holidays? Be honest, how does your carpet look and smell right now? Okay, maybe you have a carpet disaster on your hands, but that's why you should call my cleaning heroes at Zero Res. Some people hire a deal of the day carpet cleaner to save a little money, but trust shouldn't come that easily. Don't DIY it. Call Zero Res because you know it's safe and effective. That's why this month you can get 3 rooms Zero Resified starting at just $149 and take $75 off when you get your air ducts Zero Res clean. Call Zero Res right now, 952-ZERO-RES, or go online to ZeroResMinnesota.com and say you want the AM 950 special. Spell it forward or backward, it's the same. Zero Res. Refresh, restore, and protect your investment. Call Zero Res to clean your business the right way so your floors and surfaces stay cleaner longer without the harmful chemicals the other guys use.
With your AM 950 weather, I'm Brett Johnson. Look for some light snow tonight with a low around 26, Tuesday partly cloudy with a high near 34, and Wednesday partly sunny with a high around 37. The next time you're out in South Minneapolis, make Nightingale off 26th and Lyndale your go-to dining option. It's a comfortable neighborhood restaurant that features a delicious menu of American classics plus a wide drink and cocktail selection. Current hours are 5 p.m. to 1 a.m. daily with a full menu until midnight. More at nightingalempls.com.
Portions of Native Roots Radio may be pre-recorded.
It's a good day to be indigenous.
Get up, stand up.
They are going to become more brutal.
Couldn't cut, hitting cut again.
Because all the hippies were trying to be Indians anyway.
They're going to become more repressive because it's a matter of dollars and their illusionary concepts of power.
Hey, Victor.
We must live in balance with the earth.
And also with recent happenings at Wounded Knee.
I am awake. Welcome to Native Roots Radio presents I'm Awake, and I'm your host, Wakanja Hade. Hey, Cudahy to all my friends and relatives in 4 directions. You're listening to Native Roots Radio presents
need time off to address mental health concerns, they should be allotted that time. And as somebody who very publicly addresses my own mental health ups and downs in this world, I have to be honest, I'm disappointed in our work. Our employers continuously saying like, well, our employees don't really need time off for mental health. And we've seen it play out individually and in our communities and how it impacts our next generations. And so I guess in this space, I just really want to encourage people to normalize the conversation. I think too, as we go into darker days, longer nights, the weather changes, financial obligations are getting, really hard on families. We just took on all of our student debt again.
Yeah.
That those are reasons that really impact our mental health. And I want to create spaces that we can actually talk about it in a kind and compassionate way, versus this weird kind of stigmatization that we have around mental health.
Heather, I'm so happy that you are talking about this. I think it's really, really so important. And I'm all for the holistic portion of the mental health. I think people really need to do things, for themselves to just help themselves. Rest when you need to rest. It's not, people sometimes, I know for myself, it's like just to rest and veg out on the couch for me for one day is like so hard and I feel guilty about it. We have to like normalize that too. Like it's okay to rest when you're feeling, that like things are really heavy on your mental state, and
Yeah.
as a retired pharmacist, I just want to put this out there too, that medication is okay. Like you mentioned, you have a strep throat and you take antibiotics, but if you have high blood pressure, you take high blood pressure medication. If you have diabetes, you take insulin and other medication. And if you have mental health issues, it's okay to take medication because there are chemicals in the brain that sometimes just don't work, and we need to replenish those chemicals with medication. So I don't want, people to feel like, and I know, 26 years of being a pharmacist, I had so many patients who were like, well, I don't want to take medication. I don't want to take medication. And it was really a hard sell sometimes to just say, if you had high blood pressure, you would. Why, why is this different? So I really appreciate you being on today, coming on at the last minute and really addressing something that actually affects every single person, really.
Yeah. And I think too, like we have to understand that, we should treat it like we do other diseases. Mm-hmm. And I say that, really intentionally that, when we have to address our mental health stability, it's not just because we want to go out and get our nails done one day. And you know what I mean? We are really struggling. And I would say specifically men in our community. I think there's gender roles that allow us to believe, like I grew up in a military family. My dad was very firm in, and I love my dad, but very firm in, don't you dare cry. That's a sign of weakness. Don't show your emotions to people. It'll show where your soft spots are. And I think we really need to normalize that, like, men carry a burden to take care of families. Financially, we're in a really hard time, just in America in general. And what that does to us as individuals really does, realign kind of the whole chemistry that's happening in our brains. And as somebody who attempted suicide in high school, who has really had those thoughts as an adult, I guess want to normalize how we navigate that. And as I go out and have these conversations as the representative, and listen to our employers kind of make fun of people requesting time off for their mental health needs, tells me that we have a really big societal issue in addressing this. And, when Robert called me, I said, this is what I want to talk about, because without putting a lot of our personal information out there, we're really dealing with this in my own community. And we see it play out in our school systems, in our football programs, and within our young adults here. And so I just, as a message to anybody who's listening to this, or maybe who could share this with somebody, taking care of yourself and I've said this, like it's that oxygen on an airplane mentality. You have to put your air mask on yourself first before you can ever help anybody else. And as a legislator, I've really had to practice that on my own because we're pushed to take care of everybody else. But if you don't have a strong foundation in yourself, you can't build a house for everybody else to be, healthy in. And so I just really want the individuals in the world who feel like they're carrying a lot, who feel like financially things are heavy in their life, that we see you and you're loved and you matter and the help that you need is out there. And I really encourage us to support the people around us when they're in those spaces.
Yeah, Heather, I really appreciate you coming on and talking about this because it's huge. And I also want to give you an opportunity here in this last minute and a half to shout out how people can get a hold of your business and where your website is. So groups and businesses need you to come in and talk to them about a lot of things. This is one of the things that you do talk about. And
yep.
Go ahead.
So I have Two Feathers LLC, spelled out the letter 2. And what I do is I go and I do keynote speaking, motivational speaking to really talk to groups, especially groups that are in areas of love and that activism area, especially mental health, ending homelessness, areas around sex trafficking, is that for us to go out and do this work, as I know before, I've been doing this work for almost 30 years of my life, that to do the work for others, we have to take care of ourselves first. And so I go out and do those conversations and remind people that it's okay to take time for yourself. TwoFeathersLLC.com.
Thank you again, Peony Gigi, Big Peony Gigi. I really appreciate it. I know Wendy and I and Haley really appreciate when you can spend some time with us. Have a good day. And again, Peony Gigi for coming in.
Kilame, Robert, you take care of yourself. You're part of that.
Peony Gigi, thank you. Hey, that was State Representative Heather Keeler. What a trooper, and what good words to go by.
Absolutely.
Hey, you're listening to Native Roots Radio presents I'm Awake, and up next, we got a little surprise. We'll be right back after this short break.
Stay with us.
I heard sex trafficking happens a lot in Indian country. What is that?
Here are some of the real reasons why sex trafficking happens in Indian country. Unequal gender roles that were forced on us by colonization. Communities don't have enough resources. Silence around domestic and sexual violence. Lack of attention and justice for missing and murdered Indigenous people. There's a lot of behavior that keeps our communities out of balance. These are just a few true reasons why Native communities are targeted by traffickers. When these acts of violence happen in our communities, it opens us all up for exploitation.
Sponsored by the Minnesota Indian Women's Sexual Assault Coalition.
Bonjour, hello. My name is Wabin. I am an enrolled member of the White Earth Nation, descendant of the Navajo Nation, and co-chair of the Indigenous Employee Resource Group with the Minnesota Department of Transportation. MnDOT is hiring for a variety of positions from road maintenance to accounting and more. We offer great benefits. For more information or to set up a one-on-one resume and application assistance, visit mn.gov/careers, or you can text or call 612-257-2388. 612-257-2388.
Hey, it's Tom. Since 2009, All Energy Solar has been providing solar energy solutions to customers. With fully licensed electricians and installers, you can be sure that your solar installation will go smoothly. The team at All Energy Solar understands that every customer is unique. They'll take the time to survey and understand your property to find a solar solution that works for you. One of the biggest advantages of going solar is the opportunity to take advantage of the many solar incentives available. But it can often be confusing to know what you're qualified for. All Energy Solar professionals will help you find out what savings you can apply for and even help with your applications. This is especially important since many rebate programs have limited capacity and are first come, first serve. So it's important to have a professional on your side who will make sure you get every eligible rebate. Get a free no obligation assessment from All Energy Solar's commercial solar specialists by calling 800-620-3370 or visit allenergysolar.com.
You're listening to Native Roots Radio. This is Spirit from Reservation Dogs. Get up and listen.
Welcome back to Native Roots Radio presents I'm Awake, and this is Robert Pilot.
This portion of the show is supported by Native American Community Clinic, or NAC, on Franklin Avenue in Minneapolis, honoring health and tradition. And just before the break, we had a quick but deep conversation, which we're very grateful for, as always, with Representative Heather Keeler. And I just want to throw out these resources quickly, but the number for the Suicide and Crisis Lifeline number to call and text, as always, is 988. And for Native-specific care, you can call or text Strong Hearts Native Helpline at 1-844-7-NATIVE, 1-844-762-8483.
Touche. That's awesome, Haley.
Mhm.
Maybe we can bring that number up at the end of the segment or in the beginning of the next segment too. That's a good call there. And when we're talking about that, Wendy,
It is. It's really, really a hard thing. And I don't feel like there's enough mental health providers out there to take care of everybody who needs mental health intervention. I know, when I worked at the University of Minnesota, we often had to refer people out of our network because we just didn't have enough, people to take care of everybody. So if you're thinking about a career, mental health is a good career to get into, and you can help a lot of people. So
yeah.
we need them.
Even just a seasonal change
Yes.
and things like that,
Mhm.
for me, they don't bother me,
Yeah.
but boy, they bother a lot of people and you
Mhm.
got to acknowledge that.
Yes, definitely. Listen, I remember going to work. I'd get up in the morning, it would be dark. I would get to work. I would work all day in the light at work and not have any windows. Because a lot of times, being a pharmacist, we were off to the side or in the back or in a basement with no windows. I would leave work and it would be dark. So I never saw daylight for months in the winter.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. I mean, even when I was at Walgreens years ago, the pharmacy is all the way in the back. I mean, you do get a little light from the windows in the front of the store, but not really.
Well, we watched 60 Minutes yesterday and it was talking about, not just the airborne COVID was flying around and people weren't really studying that when it first came out. It was kind of about that. But to me, I was just like health. When I was in the classroom, we didn't have any windows, but I wanted to open up that door and make sure there was some circulation just to get sleepy and
Yeah.
all those things that come with it. And who knows what kind of air I was breathing.
Right. Yeah. We have to stay healthy and, really take a day and just rest. It's okay to rest and just take your time and not have to, you could put things off, and not feel guilty about it. I have to always convince myself and talk myself into just like, you're tired, just stay on the couch and binge watch something. You don't have to do stuff all the time.
I know. I don't know. I've gotten to that point where I am doing stuff all the time, and when I first met you, I was very sleepy most of the time.
Now we're trading
Yeah,
spots.
roles.
We are changing roles. Now you're the one working 24/7, and I'm kind of like, it's okay, lay on the couch, binge watch.
Can you make dinner once a month? Yeah, but it was great that State Representative Heather Keeler could
she's
jump
awesome.
in.
She does great work. She's
Yeah.
all for the people. She has a good heart. She's doing things for the right reasons.
Mhm.
Yeah, it is. And like, we don't know yet. I just said this to you yesterday. This Matthew Perry
Oh.
death bothering me. Like, I feel really sad about
too.
it. And we don't know the bottom line yet.
Mhm.
We don't know. The toxicology report's going to take a while to come out, and they're just speculating, whatever. We all know that he had problems with drug and alcohol for years and years and years and had been in rehab for a really long time.
A bunch of
Yeah,
them.
he wrote a memoir,
Mhm.
and the police did say that they found prescription medications at his house, pain medications, anti-anxiety medication, antidepressants. They didn't find anything illegal,
Mhm.
but I'm sure he suffered from, many, mental health issues.
Well, it reminds me of a
And I
old
just feel bad about it, and I just sad that he's gone. His dog, he left, his dog's left behind. So I was thinking, well, maybe it was suicide. Maybe he just like offed himself. But I think he like loved this dog so much that I don't know if he would have. I mean, like, I think like my dog Wanda would like help and stop me from doing that because I wouldn't want to leave her.
Sure.
And one of the friends, I can't remember her name. She's not Jennifer Aniston or whatever the other one. is going to
Take the
adopt the
dog?
dog, pretty much. Yeah.
Well,
I'm
that ran
sorry,
Well,
Haley. What were you saying?
No, I was just saying it was very concerning. I don't know if you guys took a look at his Instagram at all, but it kind of looked like he knew
Yeah,
that
really.
it was going to happen or something was going to
Mm,
happen. And there was a lot of weird signals beforehand that I think were overlooked.
Not
wow.
so much with Matthew Perry, but just generally speaking,
Mhm.
when you were speaking there, Wendy, it reminds me of an old saying when I first sobered up is that you can't compare your insides with people's outsides.
Yeah.
And when you see somebody that supposedly had everything, but had massive demons,
Mhm.
and
Yes.
you couldn't tell from the outside.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, hopefully, now he's in a better place, and
Hmm.
the family and friends, close friends, have to mourn,
Yeah.
and life goes on, and hopefully,
When
somebody will be helped by what happened to him.
I kind of felt the same way, and this is off subject because it wasn't depression or anything or
Mhm.
drug abuse, but when Princess Diana died, because she's the
Mm.
same age as us,
Mhm.
that was like a shocker,
That
and
bothered.
that
Yeah,
and that bothered me, and I wasn't
mm,
really a big king and queen kind of
yeah.
person, just the age.
Yeah, her death bothered me too. I remember that. Yeah, isn't it funny? It's just like some people that you see, and I was not a big Princess Di fan
No.
either, but it really, when Prince died, that,
Yeah.
it's just,
Yeah.
these public
Michael
figures.
Jackson.
Yeah,
A lot of the like old rock stars too, and the whole grunge rock scene. I know
Right.
my favorite male artist of all time, Chris
Chris
Cornell, of
Cornell.
Audio Slave, and his passing of that circumstance, that was really hard. And I grew up listening to his music with my dad. Was a big influence in that, and
Yeah.
those, again, you can hear it in a lot of his lyrics, unfortunately. But yeah, it's hard.
Yeah, somebody just mentioned Whitney Houston sent her off.
Yeah.
And I know Tom Petty, that one bothered me a lot too, So,
Yeah.
I mean, the list goes on and on. Like, you don't know these people. They're in your life a little bit. You listen to their music or you watch them on TV. And
Well, I think somebody like Amy Whitehouse, you kind of saw it coming,
Mhm.
but these other people you're speaking of was startling.
Yeah,
And we don't know them or follow them around, but
exactly.
Amy was
Mhm.
deteriorating before our eyes,
Mhm.
and she didn't want to go to rehab. No,
Mhm.
no, no.
Mhm. Yeah. Yeah. And Willie Nelson lives on.
Yeah.
Right.
But that's because he
Yeah.
smokes marijuana.
Probably. Yeah.
Maybe.
And
Right, Haley?
yeah.
Yeah, I mean, who knows? But yeah, unfortunately, there was quite a few unfortunate events that happened this weekend. The hockey player out of
Yeah.
Hibbing, Adam Johnson. I mean, that was such a freak accident. But again, we've seen it happen before in hockey. And
What happened to?
oh, okay. So yeah, I don't know. Oh, I've probably it's okay. So Adam Johnson of Hibbing, Minnesota, played here in Hibbing High School. He played for the University of Minnesota Duluth, and then he played for a couple years with the Pittsburgh Penguins.
Mhm.
But unfortunately, he died this weekend during a hockey game between the British Nottingham Panthers and the Sheffield Steelers. Both teams are part of the Elite Ice Hockey League out
Mhm.
of Britain there. But the game came to an abrupt halt, and fans were asked to evacuate after Johnson took the blade of Matt Petgrave's skate to the neck.
Oh my God.
The neck and throat area, which caused severe bleeding, in which Johnson collapsed on the ice and was given immediate medical attention. He was able to try and skate off, but unfortunately later did not survive the injury that he sustained. And I really suggest that you don't go back and look at the replay. It truly was really hard to watch. My stomach was turned for hours, and
Mm.
fans in attendance, are saying that they're traumatized. And
Oh.
yeah, and this reminds me similarly of who was it back in, I think, 89? It was goaltender Clint Malarchuk's neck injury, which he actually survived.
Mhm.
Same thing, was a goaltender skate to the neck. And
Wow.
Well, and then the late great Henry Boucher, whose career was cut short because he was hit in the eye with the back end of a stick, and
Mhm.
blood all over the arena, and it's hard to watch.
Yeah. So
And he's
very
survived.
hard.
Yeah.
So condolences to his family and the whole hockey community and everyone that was there, his teammates, his family, and his loved ones.
Well, Wendy and Haley, that kind of goes back to what State Representative was talking about. You know, you have to be able to give it away. You have to have it to give it away, whether it's support and mental health and take care of yourself. And, you know, imagining people that were at that arena really need to take care of themselves.
Yeah.
Haley had that response over the camera.
Yeah, well, people at the other game too. I mean, back in '89, you had 11 fans fainted, 2 had heart attacks, and 3 players vomited on the ice back then.
Wow. Wow. Hey, you're listening to Native Roots Radio Presents I'm Awake, and we're going to have Dr. Stately on next, I think, and we're going to talk about what Dr. Stately is doing right now, and it'll be good to see and hear from him. He's been a little under the weather for, I think it's been a month since we've had him on, so it'll be good to have him on.
Yeah. Looking forward to it. Stay with us.
You're listening to Native Roots Radio Presents I'm Awake.
October is Domestic Violence Awareness Month, and Strong Hearts Native Helpline is here to help. If you are experiencing domestic or sexual violence, Strong Hearts advocates provide culturally appropriate support and advocacy for Native Americans and Alaska Natives. Free, confidential, anonymous, 24/7. Strong Hearts advocates are Native American and take a Native-centered approach to every contact. Call or text 1-844-762-8483. That's 1-844-7-NATIVE, or chat online at www.strongheartshelpline.org.
Hi, this is Gina. Matthew, I will not read this next line.
I'll be your snookum wookums.
Fine. My husband is the sexiest radio host in Minnesota, Matt McNeil.
Dang straight.
When it came time to replace my vehicle, I wanted an option that was safe in the environment. I wanted a hybrid. My RAV4 hybrid is a greener vehicle without sacrificing style and comfort. I love my Toyota hybrid.
Toyota hybrids are incredibly fuel efficient. Test drive one today at Rudy Luther Toyota, 394 and 169 in Golden Valley.
In this critical time for Indian country, voting is crucial to protecting the land, water, and communities. Voting creates collective power in securing our planet's future amid climate chaos. Engage in personal conversations with loved ones to ensure they are making informed voting choices. Register to vote. And don't forget that 16 and 17-year-olds can pre-register to vote in Minnesota. NACDI is asking us to stand together and make voting a tradition. Go to NACDI.org to learn more and make your pledge to vote.
Don't drive too fast or you will miss Scott Jamama's Hot Barbecue. Scott Jamama's offers huge taste out of a little place. Located at 3 West Diamond Lake Road near the intersection of Nicollet Avenue and West Diamond Lake Road in Minneapolis, this tiny hole in the wall offers mouth-watering baby back ribs, grilled chicken, and half-pound pulled pork sandwiches. Don't forget to add the potato salad, spicy baked beans, twice-baked potatoes, and delicious desserts. Find their hours and full menu at scottjamamas.com.
Temperatures are cooling off and fall migration is underway. Do you know what that means? Eagle viewing season is almost here, and the National Eagle Center is your headquarters for information and experiences. This winter, experience bald and golden eagles in the wild with an unforgettable expert-led field trip. Plan your private eagle habitat tour and learn where the best eagle viewing is with weekly eagle counts. Plus, you can visit the eagles at the center all season long. Plan your visit or experience today online at nationaleaglecenter.org.
Mental health and substance use disorders are complex, stigmatizing, and can be overwhelming issues for families to face. Finding the right diagnosis and care can sometimes feel impossible, especially when you don't know where to start looking. Hazelden Betty Ford understands what your family is going through. Hazelden Betty Ford's patient access team will direct you towards a clear path forward, in network with most insurances. This message is brought to you by Hazelden Betty Ford, the Minnesota Broadcasters Association, and this station.
Seward Co-op is now offering convenient self-serve and prepackaged hot options and salad bars at both the Franklin and Friendship stores. Breakfast items available daily until 11 a.m. and brunch served all day every Sunday. Their weekly lunch and dinner menus highlight cuisines from around the world. They offer vegan, vegetarian, and gluten-free options daily. 95% of the ingredients used are organic from small-scale, local community food producers whenever possible. More at seward.coop.
With your AM 950 weather, I'm Brett Johnson. Look for some light snow tonight with a low around 26, Tuesday partly cloudy with a high near 34, and Wednesday partly sunny with a high around 37. Nightingale at 26th and Lyndale in Minneapolis is your cozy neighborhood bar and restaurant. Come in for dinner and drinks. Favorites include the pan-roasted halibut and famous Nightingale burger and fries, while for dessert, make sure you check out the chocolate pot de creme. Open daily 5 p.m. to 1 a.m. with dinner until midnight. More at nightingalempls.com.
Hi, I'm Jane Fonda, and you're listening to Native Roots Radio.
And we're back to Native Roots Radio presents I'm Awake, and this is Robert Pilot.
This portion of the show is supported by Native Roots Radio Network on Patreon. Support honest Native news from natives themselves. Native Roots Radio Network on Patreon.
What a great organization, I hear, Wendy.
It is. Woo-hoo.
Yeah. Woo-hoo. Hey, we have Dr. Stately on here. And Dr. Stately, we let off the show with State Representative Heather Keeler, and we were talking a lot about mental health and weather change and deep stuff. And, I think I'm glad you're on here, and it's important to maybe keep that conversation going. But I also want to say, I hope you're feeling good. Last time we talked, you weren't feeling too well. And then the week before that, you had COVID. So we're really appreciative that, one, that you're on, but two, that you're looking pretty healthy for an old guy.
Ooh, wow. Wow. Okay, it's like that today. No, I'm just kidding. I'm doing. Let me roll up my sleeves here. Take my earrings off. I'm doing well. Actually, I feel better today. I had a little bit of a migraine this morning. I woke up with one. I think I'm not sure if it's really COVID, but a byproduct of COVID. But I had a sinus infection, a pretty dastardly one right after I got done with COVID. So, and I get those about every 4 to 5 years, usually as a result of like me not sleeping enough, working too much, generally not taking care of myself. But I also get them regularly pretty much ever since I tested HIV positive in 1992. I get them kind of like clockwork. I can always predict when I'm getting them too. So I headed this one off at the path a little bit. I got medicines before it was full blown. So, but it's creating headaches for me and just general sense of malaise, which is never fun, especially when the weather turns yucky. You're like, oh, it's yucky inside my head and it's yucky outside my house. And, so. But what? One of the things I love about this is actually my favorite season of the year, like fall. But it feels like fall was only like 3 weeks long too. So that's the challenge here. It was like 90 degrees 3 weeks ago, and now it's 27, and it's supposed to snow tonight. And and I was caught off guard. I got a bunch of trees, 17 trees on my property with a bunch of leaves all over the ground. So I'm making a pot of chili because it's cold. I'm gonna burn leaves tonight and try to Mother Earth, she caught me off guard with her little early baboon here,
Well, what's fun is that I'm no longer on leaf duty here because we have what is it called, Wendy?
A prairie garden.
A prairie garden. So that's part of the natural process. Let those leaves come down and fertilize the prairie garden.
And they turn to dirt.
Yeah.
And they decay.
I tried to mulch them, but have you ever had 17 trees on a quarter or a three quarters of, not a 3/4, but about just half of an acre, 17 trees around a house. And it's like,
wow.
Yeah. I bought the house right around the time I had COVID. So my brain probably wasn't working very well. And it was really beautiful. I was like, oh, this is a gorgeous, gorgeous house.
Right.
All these leaves have to go somewhere. I never really thought of that, actually.
Well, let them just fall into dust.
Just rake them up by rake them in like your flower beds, or rake them, off your sidewalk, but leave them.
Yeah.
All the little critters.
Yeah, Haley said it. Leaf them.
There you go.
Leave them. Yeah, they're called leaves for a reason. Leave them.
Yes. Yes.
Yes.
Definitely. That's what I say.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Well, and it's interesting too, Dr. Staley. I think some people, including myself, I'm not a good patient. So when I do not feel good, it's like, take me to emergency. I don't feel good, and it's like overreacting a little bit. Wendy.
You're that
I'm one of
patient.
those.
Yeah, he's kind of I don't know, man baby. Is that what you call it? Man baby.
Man baby. Yeah, like
Yeah.
I got a boo boo.
Yeah, well,
I'm the worst patient in the other direction. So I I don't really I did a good job this time, but most of the time I'm kind of just plowing through life, and then I hit a wall, which is kind of actually what I did on the day I got sick with COVID. I hit a wall, and then I just want to go into my room and I want to close the door. I don't want anybody to bother me, I'm a good sized fella. I'm not gonna die if I don't eat for a few days. So at least I don't think I will. But I could lose a few pounds, before I die. So I just go in my room and I just shut her in place and I just stay there for a while because it's usually if I don't feel well, I just want to be left alone. And until I feel a little bit better, and then I can get up and kind of engage with human beings in a good way.
Well, Wendy's kind of like that too. Wendy, she goes through pain and misery, and I don't even know she's going through that. And then I find out a couple of weeks later, I almost cut my arm off, and I went, "Really? I didn't know that." But you're a trooper, right, Wendy?
Yeah.
It's fun, right, Wendy?
I just keep it all to myself.
I know, and it's just like I stubbed my toe again. Can we go to emergency, please?
I think a lot of that has to do with the way you grew up. I was a middle child, so the people at the top got a lot of attention, the ones down in the bottom got a lot of attention, and I just kind of had to sort of muddle through life and figure stuff out. If I lost a limb, which I did lose a finger, but if I lost a limb, I would probably have to figure out how to keep it attached for a period of time, and walk home from school with it, carrying it in my arms.
No.
I'm also a little prone to drama.
I guess I could be called King Baby then.
I don't know the shoe. If as they say, if the pump fits,
Moccasin.
Yeah, the moccasin fits. Yeah.
Yes.
Tomorrow I'm working on my costume for tomorrow. So everybody dresses up at
What is your costume?
I can't tell you because then somebody from NAC might hear it and then.
Okay. Will you take pictures so that we could put them up? Maybe
I will. I'll show them to you later, and maybe I'll send them to you at the end of the day, and for a good laugh with the people who are able to watch on the streaming, they can kind of get a kick out of my costume. So, remember a couple of years ago, I went as Auntie Annette.
Oh my God, that would have been so funny.
When it was Auntie Annette, and she was decked out in moccasins and camouflage yoga pants.
Well, Wendy, you can either be a bee or a big dog that looks like a bear.
Nice. Nice.
We use the same costumes every year, and we just bring them over to our godchildren, and we go trick-or-treating with them. So we have a big dog costume, and then we have a bumblebee, and then there's a French fries. You could also be French fries. So
French fries, yeah.
So the adults just kind of change off, and then the kids just whatever they want.
That's cool. Tomorrow is supposed to be really, really cold. So when you go trick or treating, wear the costume that's the warmest, and then give Robert the one that has no padding.
They're both pretty warm.
They are pretty warm.
Yeah,
that's awesome.
Me this year, just because that's like a big oversized hoodie.
Yeah, it's
with
really
padding.
cute and warm.
Yeah.
Our good friend Angie Vig, Robert, she told me that I should dress up as you tomorrow.
That would be awesome. Like, yeah.
Well,
We'll do this next year. You and I will do this next year. Like, you can go as Robert and I'll go as Wendy.
Yes.
Yeah.
Robert, some type of T-shirt and a headband around the head or something.
Yeah, with a ponytail
With a thin,
and glasses.
little
and,
thin ponytail and a white goatee.
Yeah, put a white
There
goatee
you go.
around.
Yeah.
Oh,
Thick eyebrows.
Do that by just putting cotton in your face.
Have them look like caterpillars.
What the heck? Caterpillars.
Wow, you're getting roasted tonight.
And I'm the host of this show.
Host the roast. Welcome to Host the Roast. Roast the Host.
Caterpillars. I need to thin these out. Is that what the deal is?
We have a person listening on Facebook who just commented, most men are big babies.
Oh.
Right.
Oh,
We agree.
yeah. Yeah. Well, they are the weaker sex, that's for sure.
Yeah.
I mean, like, really think about it, Robert. If like we actually had to give a birth to a child, like I don't know. I can't imagine that. I think I would pass out. I would think I would like just literally pass out in the process.
Well, Wendy, what did I always say to you? We only got a minute and a half
I
left
don't
here.
even know if I could say.
I'll-
I know. Robert would
Yeah.
say to me, "Oh my gosh, if I had my monthlies, I would have to be in the, doctor. I'd have to go to emergency every month if I was a woman and I had my
It'd be like I'd be in the ER the week before, the week of, and then the week after. So you'd really only be available for a week every month.
I know.
Oh my gosh.
Well, before we close for the evening, I would encourage everybody to remember that this is the season to get quiet, go inward. In our traditional culture, we usually tell stories. So tonight you can tell spooky stories, tell stories about the dear lady and why it's important to be really good relatives to women and to elders and everybody in your community. Those kinds of things.
Right.
This is my favorite part of the winter time, historically and also contemporaneously, is just like it's a really great time to hunker down, stay indoors, laugh, share food, share stories, and take care of one another. Just be really close.
Yeah. Definitely. Well, Dr. Stately.
Wear a mask though if you have COVID.
Definitely.
Mhm.
Dr. Stately, I don't know if you have to go because we were going to schedule for another segment, but
Yeah,
we
I just have to go
definitely-
stir my chili. I'll come back, but I got to stir my chili.
You got a commercial break to do that. We're here with Dr. Stately and we're talking scary stuff here on Native Roots Radio and also a little mental health stuff.
Important stuff. Stay with us.
This is Native Roots Radio.
Ever wonder how far you could go with a master's degree, graduate certificate, or a doctoral degree? Metro State University is hosting a graduate program preview day on Tuesday, November 14th. Explore more than 25 graduate programs, meet faculty and students, and discover resources available to help you take the next step in your career. Sign up today at metrostate.edu/preview day. Know your power. Metro State University.
The Park Tavern is your go-to destination for fun. Your friends and your family will have a great time with the fantastic food like the pizzas, appetizers, burgers, entrees, and sandwiches, the best bowling in Minnesota, the wildly popular outdoor patio, great drink specials, all the big games on their numerous screens, and it's the perfect place for your next private event, even large gatherings for over 200. The Park Tavern is your go-to destination for everyone age 1 to 100. Come see for yourself. Have fun at the Park Tavern, Louisiana Avenue, north of Highway 7 in St. Louis Park.
Join the team that saves lives. About 2,300 people in Minnesota are waiting for a life-saving transplant at this very moment. And while men are more likely to need a transplant, they're less likely than women to register as organ donors. No matter your age or health, let's help tackle the waiting list. Make your game plan to register as a donor today at life-source.org. That's life-source.org. Sponsored by LifeSource, this station, and the Minnesota Broadcasters Association.
Minnesota has the only original wolf population in the continental United States.
And 80% of Minnesotans believe the wolf should be protected.
Howling for Wolves is asking Minnesotans to respect our true wildlife manager, the wolf.
Their survival is critical to our ecosystems, our communities, and even our economy.
As highly intelligent animals with strong social bonds, Minnesota wolves deserve to be protected and admired.
Learn more at howlingforwolves.org. Let's live and let howl. Howl!
This is Leonard Belt here. I am in Coleman 1 U.S. Penitentiary, and I'm listening to Native Roots Radio.
And we're back to Native Roots Radio presents I'm Awake, and this is Robert Pilot.
This portion of the show is supported by Howling for Wolves, protecting wolves for future generations.
Wow, we should record that one and use that one forever.
There you go.
Good one, Dr.
Good one.
Right in there.
We were in unison, like a boy band.
Stately Wendy, and earlier we had State Representative Heather Keeler on, and we're having a little fun here, but we were also talking a little serious about mental health and seasonal change, and it's hard to watch the news, and icons are falling that maybe aren't really native, and all these things that are happening that are kind of adding up to some bleakness here.
Yeah, I think, there's been a lot of really big things and smaller things. I mean, I just think about every morning I get up in the morning, I turn on NPR as I'm making my coffee and making the breakfast, getting the boys off and that kind of stuff. And all this morning, it was just Steve Inscape was reporting from, Israel. About the conflict, and it is such a that is a situation in which there's not going to be a quick resolution, and there's the scale of suffering is just going to be demonstrable, right, and intractable for a really long time. And it's just so hard to listen to those stories that at some point in time I have to turn it off because I just kind of and say a prayer. And I think about the other things that are going on in our immediate world right around us. We're heading into winter. We had our first below freezing day overnight. We'll have our first snow tonight down here in southern Minnesota, at least. And temperatures are dropping fairly rapidly. And we have a lot of people in our community who are unsheltered. We have a lot of people who are struggling with so many things. So it's easy for us, especially if we ourselves are in that situation, or we have a friend, or we have a relative, or we have somebody who is meaningful that's struggling in that way, for us to also be impacted by that. And we need we need to sometimes pay attention to the emotions and the stress and all of the psychological sort of fallout from that. It's easy to become, less able to manage. The antidote to that is to be around people. The antidote is to talk to somebody who you trust in your family and in your community. Let people know you're struggling. Say some prayers yourself, put down some tobacco and put up some prayers, and ask the people around you to put up some prayers for you as well. And and most importantly, if you are feeling like the impulse to hurt yourself or harm others, is to seek help. There's some good resources out there. There's NAC has a mental health program. The Minnesota Clinic in South Minneapolis has a pediatric mental health clinic for young people under the age of 21 who are struggling with mental health problems and challenges. And that's an age range that is really struggling at this moment in time. And then our elders, don't forget our elders. Our elders a lot of them live alone by themselves, maybe in supportive housing, and they could use a visitor, or they could use somebody checking in on them. So those are
really good points. And I was going to mention that it's the young ones have gone through COVID, school, a lot of growth, whether it's peer groups and things like that. And it's just we got to get back to community and make the community stronger. And
everybody has experienced some loss over the last couple of years. Like young people, they lost connection with their friends. They've lost relationships. They've lost some stability and some predictability to their lives, right? Kind of all walk through life thinking like us having a certain amount of confidence that certain things would unfold in a specific way. And that has, the pandemic really challenged that, and all of the things that happened after the pandemic. The scale of the loss for people can feel really immense. And for young people, they don't have a lot of tools all the time to be able to sort of manage loss at that scale. And so doing things like checking in on them, asking them how they are, paying attention to who and what they're doing online and who they're talking to in their social media and those kinds of things is really important. And then reassuring them a lot, making sure they know that they're loved.
I tell Wendy that all the time. Almost too much. Right? She's just laughing. I embarrassed her on the radio. How was that?
Well, the balance, the scales and the balance in life will come around when you least expect it there, Robert.
Yeah.
Probably about 6:01.
Yeah, that's hey, one of the things that's we talked a little bit about is that you have to be, and it's really a have to. You have to be in a good place to give it away. I mean, you have to take care of yourself, and then take care of others, because it's hard to give away something that you don't have.
Yeah, for sure. And that's the nature of, I think, I talk a lot about this on the radio, but I also talk a lot about this at work, the idea of being a good relative to everyone. Being a good relative is also not like always just giving everything away that you have.
Right.
We want to share the things that Creator has gifted us, but we also want to realize that we have to hold on to some things for ourselves as well. We have to hold on to some of our own energy, some of our own, the things that feed us and support us and sustain us. And, some of those things are real things around us. Some of those things are, things we don't see and recognize every day. So we have to try to pay more attention, or we have to remind ourselves. Like I always remind myself when I'm struggling and I'm having challenging times, and I've gone through a couple of really difficult times lately, that remind myself that my ancestors are always behind me. I have this whole army of people behind me that nobody can really see them, but I don't see them. So I forget that they're there sometimes, and I can close my eyes and ask them to step forward and to support me, especially in challenging times. So that's an important thing for us to try to remember.
Well, totally important. And Dr. Stately, it sounds like the kids are getting into the chili right now, and we're ending our show. So you got any last words of wisdom before we let you go?
No, I mean, I would just say, I wish everybody, try to enjoy the transition from fall into winter. It's a beautiful time of year. It's one of the times of year when everything kind of goes quiet. We get quiet outside, we get quiet inside. It gives us time to reflect and to begin to think about, what can we look forward to in 4 or 5 or 6 months? What new opportunities do we have to do something to help others, to make the world a better place, to make your home a better place, your relationships. These are all times when you can spend reflecting on that. So.
Yeah, thank you so much, Dr. Stately. I'm glad you're feeling better. You look good and sound great. Thank you so much for all your great words and what you do in the community. Hey, if you're listening to the show, you're part of the resistance from Chief Plentycoops. The ground on which we stand on is sacred ground. It is the blood of our ancestors. We need to resist, divest, join a group, run for office. We're still here. We are the 7th generation.
Free Leonard Peltier.
Now.
Hey listeners, this is Ellie Krug with